Us to Teach show. This is your host Rick, and we are talking about the storm is among us, and we have an SB2 Decode. This is the Blessed to Teach show on December 27th, and we are going live here not only on YouTube but also on Facebook Live, Twitch, as well as Periscope simultaneously. So you guys let me know how it's going as you come on with the chat and tell me how things are going. I see a bunch of people coming on with Midnight Girl, thank you for coming. Patricia and Martin and On the Bench and Justin and Jeremy. We got California and Los Angeles and McLean, Texas, and tons of people on the line. Thank you guys for joining us from Massachusetts, another Floridian, and I appreciate you guys joining us here. Let me know if there's any problem with the sound, etc. as we go here, and we'll get rolling. We got a bunch of new settings, as you know. I've been messing with things, going live simultaneously in all these areas. But again, the storm is among us. An SB2 Decode. Best to Teach show here on December 27th. I also got a special guest, Bob, coming in to talk more from Trade Genius about the Federal Reserve. What should you expect with your portfolio with the gold and the restructure or the structure changes in the the Federal Reserve? Exciting times. Let's dig into this a little bit right now. First, I'll just show you one thing before we bring Bob up, and is if you look at the decodes that we had here, the last one was still December 22nd, the last time we heard from him, when he was talking about the hypocrites of Obama and Chuck Schumer flip-flopping on the building of the wall, right? And that we also saw one thing the theme of this show. I wanted to show you this. This is one of my favorite decoders on Twitter is Lady Canuck, right? And here's her one decode here. I just want to show this to you, and then we'll bring up Bob from Trade Genius to talk about the Federal Reserve. Look at this. This is Donald Trump's tweet that he did on December 27th. That is just here lately. Hey, thank you, Karen Pearson. I appreciate the super chat. But you see all the capital letters here, and when that gets decoded, it shows 4421, which is the time of the 55th drop of Q. And what does it say? And that's linking today's tweet with drop 55 based on 4421, and it says, look to Twitter, exactly this: my fellow Americans, the storm is among us. God bless. So that was a drop all the way back from November 2nd telling us the storm's among us. And we see it, don't we? We see Trump fighting the Fed, and we're going to talk a lot about that right now as I bring up interview guest Bob from Trade Genius. Bob, I know I probably have done a great job introducing you as well in the past, so you might want to give a little bit of your background and talk to us about why you know so much about the Federal Reserve and why I've enjoyed talking to you so much.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. I think, third time's a charm, right? So, yeah, so background on me, I'm born and raised Pennsylvania guy, went to college there, got a degree in marketing, and then I used that degree very effectively because I went and became an officer in the Marine Corps, and I did that for 3.5 years active, 7 years total reserve, and then I joined a software company, and I worked in the software financial services industry for 25 years, and then in the it's been like 12 years now. I kind of semi-retired, started a solar business, but I always loved to trade. And what I did with the software company is that I did M&A work. So I was very involved in valuing companies and
mergers and acquisitions.
Looking at the future, did strategic planning. So I've always been interested in the future, where the hockey puck's going, what things are worth, and also all the games and shenanigans that get pulled behind the scenes that most people don't see. And then so when I turned basically in the mid-40s, I started a solar company because I was looking for energy independence. And then I also started my trading company. And I've been doing that since, now it's going on 12 years. And I started Trade Genius with another person about 3 years ago. And that brings me to today. And so I know the markets extremely well. I kind of know the future because I'm always looking around the corner. And people tell me my skill is educating and peeking around corners. So I I try to use the gifts God gives me to.
You're blessed to teach.
Yeah, so you're a better teacher probably than I am, but
no, I talk about how I get blessed when I teach because it makes me prepare. Right, that's the whole point of my name is right. I prepare and I get blessed when I'm doing it myself.
Well, I think knowledge reduces anxiety, and I think what's happening now in the world today is that we went from educating people to everything's narrative building now.
Yeah.
So they don't really want to tell you anything; they want to shape you and persuade you. And what
that's the Mockingbird media propaganda, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I try to cut through that, and there's some definite themes that we're seeing. I think you're on top of those, and I think we're at a what I would call a breaking point in society where, I call it the Great Reset, and you've listened and heard from me from the past, and I'm not a big believer that we're going to go into the Great Depression again. I'm not a big believer we're going to go into a 2008 event again. We're going to be actually stepping into a new environment entirely.
Right.
And I think QAnon is kind of suggesting some of those things. I think Trump is a change agent. Whether he was purposely put there or accidentally put there, he's there, and it's happening also in Europe. And and you can see the the old ways aren't working anymore. So
yeah, and I'm looking right now, Bob. I just put up this post set 2575 we talked about earlier, and it says the plan to have the Fed raise rates steep incline beginning in March of 2019 in an effort to kill the economy prior to the 2020 presidential election is known and planned for. And there's a question that says, structure change coming? Q. So I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
President Trump, look, he's a savvy guy. People underestimate him, and they continue to do so. And, look, this is the third time the Fed has pulled this game. They did it to actually Franklin Roosevelt, too, in 1937-38, and they crashed the stock market there 50%. Put it back into a recession till we got into World War II, and then they did it to George Bush the first. He was riding high out of the Desert Storm, and they crashed the economy into a recession, caused the S&L crisis that you probably will remember.
Yeah.
You and I were young bucks then, but we remember it. And then now they're doing it to Trump. But the difference with Trump is that he's not going quietly into the night. He knows their games. And he's dealt with these kind of characters before, and he got in front of it, and so what I think is going to happen now is that, rightly or wrongly for the Fed, they put themselves now out there as the arbiter of the stock market value, not Trump. He moved that story to them, and people know it now. So when Jerome Powell went ahead and raised interest rates in December, and the stock market fell 12%. That wasn't on Trump. That was on the Fed.
Yeah, no question about it. Yeah.
And so now they're like, okay. And I said December was the last rate hike we're going to see.
Yeah, and SB2, who we're going to go over here in a second, his Decode talks just about that, about the fact that was a message from the deep state to say we control the markets, right? Through the Fed and other things.
I think right. the deep state in France thought they controlled the market too. And the Yellow Jackets showed up. So I think they're underestimating the underlying anger, and I think the anxiety of the world population, and people are looking at their life being changed and without any control, and the Fed is so obvious now about what they do, and they turn around and they tell people the economy is great, and then the very next week from their very own Fed they put a report out saying how much the confidence has dropped in 1 week. They already had that data, and so it's obvious that the people are seeing that they just lie to us to have a narrative to do whatever they like to do. But forget all that. We can't control that per se, other than voting and being active and communicating with people. But what we can do is that we can profit from it, and we can be in front of it, and we can ignore all the chit-chatters out there and try to understand where this hockey puck is going. Yeah. And where it's going is that, look, they cannot unwind the debt they've created. And there's no way they're going to let this go back into a deflationary collapse, because they know the banks won't survive it.
Right.
And then the taxpayers aren't not going to tolerate bailing them out again. And so what they're going to do is they're going to try to do a redo of what happened in the 70s and try to stagflate us, meaning that they keep the growth rate is going to be at minimum, but they're going to try to bring what's called hot money into the market to actually start creating what they call velocity. And all that should mean to anybody listening is that means it's time to get into gold, silver, the miners, and then we're going into this thing what we call the electric future, where you're starting to see a lot more electric vehicles. You've seen China, India nuclearize their entire electric grid.
Right. And let me bring up along those just real quickly. Here's another drop that's 2619 just from December 12th that an anonymous asked a question that said, do you have the gold, or do we have the gold, right? As in the U.S., I think, because there's a lot of talk about it being shipped into Switzerland and all that stuff. And Q answered that, yes, gold shall destroy the Fed, or gold shall destroy FED. So what's your thoughts on that specific comment?
Yeah, you and I kind of joked about it. I said, you notice who's guarding our gold? The Army, not the New York Fed. So, it's sitting in Fort Knox. It's there. Don't let anybody tell you that we gave it away. We did not. And what they're going to probably do when things get to a point. See, right now we're in this thing. People can look it up on their own. Look at the inverted pyramid of Exter. And what he's saying is that as things get more and more, dicey in the markets, you go to things that have less counterparty risk.
Right.
And we're at a point now where it's now the U.S. bond market. You see the stock market starting to slip away. That was the fourth rung. And then it's the U.S. dollar, and finally it's gold. And so when you get to the point where even the U.S. Treasuries aren't desired, you're going to see the powers that be are going to reprice the value of gold. And if you take our debt, Rick, and you multiply it by the 8,300 tons of gold that we have at Fort Knox, and you want to wipe the debt out, you reprice gold up to $25,000.
Yeah, versus
wow,
which is what's it at right now?
That's 20 times the price it is today.
20x, it'd be 20x. Yeah, that's why I have gold in my portfolio too, and I'm actually have one of my sponsors is Noble Gold, which we'll be talking about next week. But as far as another ways, do you think there's going to be a cryptocurrency backed by gold?
Yeah, I mean, they're already talking about it. In fact, even some of the gold miners and silver miners are talking about basically blockchaining their production, and just basically sidestepping the CME, which is the Mercantile Exchange, which is the exchange that creates fake contracts to suppress the price of gold and silver. So, yeah, our view at Trade Genius is that the stock market had a great run, had 9 years. It's going to, regardless of any of the Fed shenanigans, you have to expect it to pull back.
Right.
And so, for us, I'm looking at 25% total. Some people are a little bit more dire than I am, but probably won't get there. And you're going to see commodities start to lift back up when the dollar starts to roll over. And that's where you want to put your money. So you want to move your money out of the tech names, the names that have been working, and you want to move
all the Silicon Valley deep staters.
Exactly. You literally want to go from the coast to inland.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to go to flyover country. You want to have gold. You want to have silver. You want to have the miners. You want to have uranium.
And miners? Are you talking about cryptocurrency miners, or are you talking about something else?
Oh no, I'm talking about just the commodity miners.
Okay.
But the cryptocurrencies are important because when the banks start to fail, you're going to need non-bank assets.
Yeah.
And there's only two of them.
There's a lot, and there's I'm sorry.
And cryptos.
Okay, Chris. Yeah, you're right, and that's the non-banking entities, right? That are. I'm a technology consultant, so I just love the blockchain technology itself, how it's decentralized versus centralized, which makes it much more secure. It's completely transparent, so everybody can see it, and it's almost impossible to corrupt, right? And it cuts out middlemen with real transparent, low fees. And that's why I just love blockchain technology, which we use in all kinds of business things with Ethereum and the IBM blockchain, others. But when you look at actual cryptocurrency, if it's not backed by gold, some people have a big problem with that. Do you?
Yeah, and I think it's going to come. You're going to see all kinds of commodity-backed blockchains. I think they're just trying to figure it out and work through it. We just went through really phase one. I would say phase 3, if you will, because the tech guys did it, and then the aficionados did it, and then this last burst was the first time the public really are seeing the capabilities of crypto and the blockchain, and I think people are going to now start seeing the value of being able to operate pseudonymously. You don't have to give away your information to Facebook to be able to profit from ads that are given. Your healthcare will be totally privatized. You're going to be able to trade with other countries you don't trust their currency, through smart contracts, and all that stuff's going to create value in the crypto space, because those coins have to be used, and in some cases they get burned up. And then Bitcoin by 2021 is going to be it's locked down, and they're not going to mine any more new coins. So we just see whatever happened this past year is really a retrace of basically the futures market people coming in and creating a bubble that they can profit from. But I think we've hit bottom, and now we're looking for opportunities to lift it again. And for us, we really don't care. We're traders, so we look for momentum signals, and we look for the direction of travel. And so we're really simple. You buy it on the low end of the oscillation, you sell it at the high end of the oscillation. But if you believe the macro story, you don't sell at all. You just keep reducing your price. So by maybe you sell half, and next time it comes back, you buy it again, and you keep bringing your average down. So there's
that's what I want to talk to you about. In my I get a private session from Bob tomorrow at 5:00. I'm excited. So get some coaching from a trade genius himself. So
so it's just tremendous opportunities. I mean, look at last week. I mean, there was I'll look at Ripple. Ripple's a centralized coin. I think Stellar Lumen you're probably very familiar with. That's a centralized coin too. But as a trader, you love the movement, and those both gave 40-50% moves last week. Just looking at our signals, and you don't have to believe in that story, but I believe in the money it generates for me. So I'll take those trades and move it back to cash, or I'll buy more Bitcoin with it. And and you stay with the major coins, and I think you're going to be fine. You're looking at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, EOS. Binance Coin is a great coin, and you have the centralized coins with Stellar Lumen and Ripple, and those are trading coins for me. I just like the range they give you on a daily basis. You can make literally sometimes 1-2% a day if you have time to sit in front of your computer, and if you did that, you're making between 300 and 800% a year, and those trades are in front of you. It's just work. It's not a magic wand, but the signals are there, and the trades are there, and you can make money, and we'll show you how to do it.
And that's what I love about you. You don't take commission or anything. You basically just train people. They buy your training programs, and you give them communities and specialized coaching if they want to buy that, etc., to actually learn how to do it themselves.
Right. And we do one more thing too. We actually provide the signals too. So
that's a good point.
We don't sit you in a class and pat you on the rear end and say good luck. We actually tell you the trade we're taking too. So and you get in the trading room, and you can ask any questions you want. We're there. I mean, look, I've been on since 7:30 my time now. I've been going since 4:30 this morning, and so we're we drink this stuff. We love this stuff, and we think this is absolutely the future. And I think people are going to be really happy that they made these decisions to investigate and learn how to trade these coins. The nice thing about it, just to demystify the whole thing, they trade just like a stock. So it's not like you're trading some mysterious thing. It has the same values. It's either overvalued or undervalued. Either people are buying it or selling it. So that's so you just have to know the signals, and we'll teach you those. And we're not the Lambo guys. So we're blue collar lunch pail. You grind it out, you make money every day in the markets, and you'll get a good living. But we're not promising people you're going to make thousands of percent or any of that garbage. That doesn't work. Over time, you just got to grind it out and make money.
Sounds great. Well, Bob, I really appreciate you taking the time, and I guess it's tradegenius.co, correct? CO?
That's one of them. And then also, just for you, Rick, because we've been doing this, I put some specials up for year end for you. Till tomorrow night, 28th, midnight. Tradelikeagenius.com is where we put them. You can get there from tradegenius.co as well. And we put really good pricing together so you can get bundles if you're a new user, crypto or stock market or gold. And also if you're an intermediate user, and like you mentioned, the coaching and things of that nature. And then you could, when we talk again, you can tell people how the coaching went with you, because we'll give the same coaching to other people, and you can tell them whether you thought it was valuable or not.
That sounds great. Just want to make sure my virtual shield is struggling right now. So we're struggling with connection. So hey, but really appreciate you coming on. The audio was awesome. I got great feedback on that. People have and we'll gather some more questions for you if we can get you on some other time, maybe next month, if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I really appreciate it. Let me know if your audience found this valuable. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Yeah, sounds great. We're gonna need to get these regular old Fed updates as things happen. So, well, God bless you, man, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Have a good one.
All right, you take care. Bye-bye. All right, guys, that was again Bob with Trade Genius. It's amazing things. I'm having real trouble with the audio, so I may have to do the second part of this after I reboot the router. So it looks like it's getting attacked again, and the virtual shield's not protected because it's struggling. So I'm gonna wrap it up here and just get right back on part 2 with a refreshed router. Talk to you guys in just a bit.